Welcome back to Aurora's podcast. We are now nearing the finale. If this is your first time, please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already. If you have been following this story, I truly thank you for following. I would appreciate it if you can like and comment or share. Thank you so much. Now let's get this story going. A police car coming my way. Oh my God. I cried in tears of joy because I knew it, that the police were coming for me. The cop came out of his car and it was at the right moment that Joe was on the back porch sitting. The cop asked Joe if there was a lady named Filipina living at his house. Joe stuttered and replied hesitantly to the police saying, Yes. What do you want from her? As soon as the police got a confirmation that I was living in Joe's house, he didn't waste time. He was then called out my name twice to come out. I heard the police were calling out my name, but I was scared to come out. Because I know that Joe would point the finger at me for contacting the police. Though I have not contacted anyone other than my cousin. Joe told the cop that he was going to get me. Before Joe could come inside, I ran back to my room pretending that I didn't know what was happening out there. Joe knocked at my door rapidly 3 times. I opened the door slowly and like I said, Joe pointed fingers at me soon as the door opened. He was so upset that I called police. Did you call 911? Joe asked in a very upsetting voice. I told you and warned you not to contact the police ever. When did you call 911? He ended the question with anticipation. Joe assumed that I called 911 when the truth was, I never did. I told Joe that I never made a call. I even suggested to him to contact the local telephone company if there was a record. Joe said that I was a liar. He then directed me to go out to the back porch to speak to the police who were looking for me but warned me not to say much. I cried, but it was tears of joy that Joe had let me go out to speak to the police. I know that I was going to break free soon. A free woman. Soon as I opened the door on the back porch, the cop questioned me if I was the girl that they have been searching for the last 3 days. I didn't know that my name has been stamped as missing for days since I left Jack, my ex-husband. I replied in tears. Yes, sir. That's me, you have the right girl. The cop then asked me if I was okay. I told him I was okay. Still surviving and alive but not okay mentally at the very right moment. I begged him to take me to a safe place away from my abuser. The cop asked me more questions about why would I want to get away from Jack. I remember Joe warned me earlier not to say much. I glanced at Joe and by the look of his eyes, I just can tell that he does not want me to say anything much further. So then I mumbled. I tried to speak up but was so scared. My lips were shaking followed by a sudden rise of anger towards Jack and I started crying. The cop then asked me to calm down. At this time, I was bursting into tears. I got a flashback of everything that had happened in the past of what Jack did to me. Even this has been way almost a decade ago. I kept stopping writing to breathe deeply and I get angry as it all came back. The cop then explained everything to me and how I was stamped as a missing person. He said that they have received a report last Saturday, the day that I was supposed to leave Jack, from a person in the other state who was expecting me to arrive at the airport. Obviously my cousin, but I was no show. Since the report was in another state, they had to forward it to the local police where I was residing. The police in the local area then went to Jack's house and were searching for me. But the police were told by Jack that I had left him or that I ran away from him. The cop also told me that they traced the last call that I made to my cousin who reported me as missing. And that's how they found me. I thanked the cop a lot for rescuing me and begged him to take me away. The cop then asked me to go ahead and grab my stuff. When Joe heard that the cop is going to take me away from his care, Joe then said to the cop that he can't take me because I was due to leave the country the next morning. Aha! Leave the country? This was the reason, Jack. Joe and his family kept the secret from me because they had planned to ship me back home. What? I'm leaving the country tomorrow? I said to Joe in a high-pitched voice. I was so surprised to learn this fact. Remember earlier in chapter 16? Jack filed a divorce on February 12, 2002, and in the said divorce decree it says, husband shall wire $400 to wife in Cebu City, Philippines on or before February 17, 2002. Bingo! Jack is busted. That's why he filed the divorce sooner, because his intention was to send me back home. Wait a minute. The cop raised his eyebrow while questioning Joe. You said, the cop talking to Joe while pointing at me. Miss Filipina is leaving the country tomorrow? Joe nodded, yes. The cop turns his body 45 degrees and questioned me if this was correct or if I was aware of the fact. No, sir. I am not aware of it and I just learned it today. The cop continues on asking me, Miss Filipina, you are here in the US legally, is it correct? I replied yes. Would you like to stay? I nodded. Then no one has the right ever to send you back home. That is all for the day, and thank you for being so patient. And thank you for listening to Aurora's podcast. Do not miss out on the next chapter and the finale. Bye bye for now.